Today we're going to be talking about the items that are selling on eBay right this very minute. Hey, it's Don. Today we're going to show you what's selling for us right this very minute on eBay. Let's hop over right now and show you some of those items. So today we're looking at a mix of some of the items I've sold in the last few days. Some of these first few items you actually saw me buy in a haul video. This is one of them. This is a sheet music basically. It's a book from 1877 showing you how to play a banjo by George Dobson. Nice, interesting piece. I sold it for $35. Again, I just threw a price out there. I knew I would get something for this. I have nothing literally into it. It came in that big free lot in the haul that you saw me get probably about 3 or 4 months ago. I'm still selling on a weekly basis sheet music from that lot. Now, here's another haul item. I purchased this as well as the next two items from an antique mall. It's in a video. You can see me purchasing this. I got $1 or something into these, I do believe. This one did sell for $19.99 for this button. It's from the 1870s. It's a 3-piece staff officer button for the 1st Pennsylvania National Guard Regiment. Interesting piece. Same and similar design to the ones you'll find from the Civil War, but the back mark is from a later period. So this is a post-Civil War button. Another item from that same haul, another button for $1 or somewhere in that range, and this one sold for basically 15 bucks. Again, shipping is charged for all of my items, so I have nothing really into this, $1 or so at best. It's an 1860s button from just after the Civil War, 1865 on up. This could have been found on some Civil War uniforms at the very, very end of the war, but that's about it. Again, another item from that same haul. This one I think I spent like $3 for or less. It's in the video. You can go back and watch it. It's literally at an antique mall in the local area. It sold for $25. It was up for 2 days. So the buttons were up for 2 days. This and the buttons were listed at the exact same time, all sold. Sheet music was listed, I think, the week before that. Again, it sold. Only been up for a very short period of time, all of these items. I have just a few bucks in anything I'm showing you today. Here's another haul item. You can see me buying this at a flea market, I believe. This one did sell for $150. This one I paid $1 or less for because I never spend more than $1 on 78s. Again, I do know my records, especially the 78s, so I'm very selective at what I buy. Very good purchase. This is one I've had before. This is the Newport Syncopators. Most of the ones that say Syncopators on the disc are usually good discs to at least look up, if not purchase. Again, I look up everything I do not know. Do not waste money if you don't know it's going to bring you some money back. Again, whether it's $1 or not, I don't waste that money. It only takes a moment to look up anything. If you don't know something, look it up. Next one here is from around 1900. These are inserts that would have been at a grocery store with recipes on what you could do with Jell-O back in the day. There's 2 sheets here. They sold for just over $20, plus shipping, of course. You can see them both here. Rather nice, rather unique images all the way around. This sort of thing always sells for us. Jell-O, name brand things from back in the day, Victorian era, usually does very well. Anything, Hershey's, anything advertising, something that is still around. Coca-Cola is a perfect example. They were around in the 19th century and still to this day are collected. Next one's a postcard. This one sold for $27.50. This one was bought for less than $1. It's in one of my videos as well. As you know, and for those of you who do go out and buy this sort of thing, they're usually $1 or can be had for $1 or less most of the time. Now here's a piece from the 1893 Columbian Exposition. It was the World's Fair in Chicago in 1893. There were buildings that you could advertise and people rented space just like they do today. Singer had a booth there, and this was something you could have gotten at that booth. This sold for 40 bucks plus shipping. It's been up for a little while. Not super rare. I had a couple of these that I bought from the same location. The people I bought them from hadn't a clue what they really were. They came originally from a sewing box. So I don't know if they bought a sewing box there and maybe they threw in a couple of those. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Very good sale. I've just got $1 or so into this booklet here. Next one's a kid's book from 1927. This one sold for $20 plus shipping, of course. I got a quarter or so into it. This is from one of those thrift store purchases from way back in the day. 4 for $1 purchase when they have the kids book specials. Next one's a luggage label. This one did sell for $24.15. This is Central Airlines, one that doesn't exist. This is a die cut one where the wing is cut out in the tip of the Boeing, it looks like, or maybe it's a DC-10 or something along that line. Nice one either way. Very good. Original from the 40s or 50s. This next one here sold for $35. This is a small handbook, and let me show you another image so you can see the size of it. You can see someone's fingers right there at the very edge of this holding it open. It's a very small book for $35. Very happy with it. Paid $1 for it. As I do, I buy in bulk. A lot of items I can buy from attics, estate sales, and things like that as well. Bulk purchases of paper lots at local live auctions, pickers, the whole works. Excellent item here. Very happy with the money I got back on this. Now here's a 8x10 photo of Ella Fitzgerald from the Meadowlark. That's in Detroit. This is a local live performance that she did here. This is from the newspaper. I've got thousands of 8x10s in my inventory. Those in Patreon, you've seen some of the stacks. We've went through some of them. This, I believe, was shown to you. I sell a lot of 8x10s a week, and quite a few in many different areas. I do military, as you've seen, NASA, all kinds of 8x10s. I only mess with, obviously, legitimate first run. I don't do any copying or anything like that, nor do I ever recommend doing that as well. Very nice sale here for $20. Now here's an Ethiopian Airlines airmail stamp. Somebody would basically pay the airline, and the airline would fly the letter to its destination on one of their flights. This is like a private printed airmail stamp. It went for $12.25. I've got almost nothing. I mean pennies into this one here. Here's a Bing Crosby 78, $20.99 plus shipping, of course. This is White Christmas. This is from a Christmas album set. Patrons, you know exactly which one I'm talking about. Now here's a Sony TCM-2. I just had a video talking about Walkmans. This is one of the earlier Walkmans. It does not work. The belt is shot in. You can hear it inside. Everything spins. The motors still work, but the belt is shot, so it cannot play a cassette. It's an easy fix. I don't mess with fixing these anymore personally. I used to fix them, and we used to, increase the value of them and get more money out of it, basically. But I just don't spend the time anymore. It's just not worth the hassle. Just throw it up, blow it out. I got $1 or $2 into this, so who cares? It did sell for $41.99. Now here's another thrift store item. This is again in one of my thrift store haul videos that I have. I think this was $1.99 and it was half off on that. So it was 99 cents. It did sell for $19.25. Weird on this one, they made me an offer for $15 before I could even accept it. They just purchased it for the sale price of $19.25. Again, I did put some of my merchandise on markdown. I have about 38% of my merchandise marked down to the 30 or 35% margin. And this is one of those items. It usually does a good job. Again, I've got almost nothing into this. Profit-wise, I'm making about, say, $14 after everything's said and done. Again, I charge for shipping on everything. Now this next one is from another haul video. Most of the items I think I'm showing you are from haul videos. I kind of was a little selective so you can see some of the items I've shown you in the past. It's a sumo wrestling tournament program from Japan. It did sell for $19.25. I bought this for $1 with a whole bunch of magazines. Many of them have already sold. This is just one of those interesting pieces that was left over. Still selling stuff from that purchase still to this day. Here's another item that you can see in another haul as well. This is a puzzle from the Pittsburgh Steelers from 1977. It's complete. I took $20 on it. Very happy. I've got $1 into it, so I really can't complain on the profit. Again, $14 or so. Now here's some leftovers from a G.I. Joe haul that I had. Again, I have a video from that probably at the end of last year. This is just leftover parts. I made all of my money from the guns, the weapons, and the figures, and as well as some full complete vehicles. This is just leftover. I literally have nothing into this. We've already made hundreds of dollars from this purchase. I took 20 just to get this off the shelf. It takes up some space. Next one here is a silver colored religious medal or charm. This one went for $22.50. Very happy. I purchased a huge assortment of these by the pound probably about 2 or 3 years ago. I've been selling these monthly ever since without an issue. Next one here is a roller skating label. This one did sell for $34.50. Idlewild, this is in California. Rather interesting one. Most of the California stuff, as we've talked about many times, does sell better than most other regions of the country. Here's another dollar purchase. This is a Post magazine from World War II, 1943, with artillerymen on the cover. This one did sell for $24.15. Another markdown item here. Very happy. Again, I paid $1 for it. Return on my investment is about 20 bucks. Now this next one here, I had several offers that I turned down. It is damaged. That is a stain under where you see the word Lewis, and there is a rip underneath his neck. I turned down 3 different offers. I let it ride. It sold for $75 on the very day I listed it. This is an official baseball card, believe it or not. This is in the early baseball price guides. This is referred to as scrap as the maker. This is a Victorian scrap. You could have gotten a sheet of different players from the team. Has his name on here as well. It's die cut as you see it. There are many different ones of these. We've had them before. I've showed you other ones of these. But this is the very first baseball card ever created. 1870s and 80s era from what I understand. Again, these are in the price guides. I'm not sure if it's in the Pioneer section or not, but this is considered technically a baseball card. And as I said, it did sell for 75 bucks. Next one's an advertising pen. Again, I sell quite a few pens and pencils. This was in a big bulk purchase. I have almost nothing into this. This person bought 2 of them for 20 bucks a piece. I've been blowing these out and selling them ever since I listed them. So I am very happy with staggering out my profits across a certain time frame. Again, with things like this, I buy them in bulk. So I only have to sell a couple to get my money back. Once I sell a couple in the first week or so, everything else from there is a continuous flow of profit. It's passive income. I list them and then I forget about them. Another dollar magazine, an American Cinematographer, $19.25. I bought a bunch of these. This one is in a haul. I show these. I bought probably 30 or 40 American cinematographers. Some of the Star Wars issues of this from 77 through 83 can go for some insane amounts of money. This is a good title in general. It has technical data on how they actually make Hollywood movies back in the day with actual practical special effects. Very good magazine if you like that sort of thing. People collect every issue of this. It's been around for decades as well. Now this next one's a sterling pin here. It's probably from a high school or something along that line. I paid $1.99 for this one at a sale on a rack card mounted. I don't know if they know it was sterling. It's marked very small on the back of this. This one sold for $24.50 to someone from Japan. They spent $14 and some odd cents to have it shipped to them, first class international. Again, I do ship straight to some countries. We do not do global shipping program for some of the trusted countries we've never had issues with either. Again, I do ship to some countries straight from us without using global shipping. We ship to Canada, obviously UK, France, Germany, Sweden, Australia, and Japan as well. Other than that, most everything goes through global shipping program. Good sale either way for the investment in this. Now here's some more baseball cards from the late 1880s. Now these were available in packs of tobacco for R.C. Brown. Capadura cigars were the specifics. So if you bought a box of them, you would get a card inside them. They would hand these out occasionally as well. These can also be found in the baseball price guides also. So now no team specifics were used on many of these earlier ones. They're just comical related, where they'll use the same design for different items. And this one sold for $50, as well as 2 other ones to the exact same purchaser. Now, this person buys from me quite routinely. I usually give them a break because they're always buying something. I don't think a month has gone by where they didn't spend a few $100s in our store for the past 3+ years. So getting a good client, a good customer, is key to making this work. Getting your name known in the niches that you are selling in is key. They know who to go to for certain items. They know that your picture, your images, your quality, your statements, your descriptions are going to match what they get. It's going to be shipped extremely well. My stuff is pretty much bulletproof safe for the most part. I have not had a damaged issue with anything like this. So, good example again, I sold 3 of these to the same gentleman for $50 a piece. The service and how you handle your business is key to getting folks to want to go to you over others. They can be guaranteed what they get, as I said. They can be guaranteed if there's an issue, you're going to fix it for them no matter what. You know, so I take care of our customers. That's part of how this actually works. So again, $50, and the last one is again another one of these 1880s baseball cards for $50 again to the same person. This is another one of those purchases from an estate sale. I bought a big bulk lot of tobacco related cards, these giveaways. This is just some of the leftovers from that assortment. But that's what I have for you today. Well, there you are. Hopefully that gave you some ideas and some thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell all your friends.
Purina Puppy Chow helps little puppies grow into big puppies. But then its job is only half done, because even after he looks full grown on the outside, inside his muscles are still forming and his bones are still growing for about a full year. That's why he needs a full year of the extra nutrition in Puppy Chow. Puppy Chow for a full year till he's full grown.